Hello! Okay, it's been a while since I filmed a video. As I'm sure everyone can understand, finals and school are very hard, and that makes filming and editing and uploading kind of not a priority. But I thought that today, since I have a second, I'm at home on winter break, I thought that I would film a video about my transfer experience because I get a lot of questions about that. I get a lot of Instagram DMs and emails and things like that, which I'm so totally happy to answer. My Instagram is linked in the description, and also my email if anyone wants it, they can ask for it. Very, very happy to answer anyone's questions about the transfer experience, but I thought I would make a little video just about some questions that I usually get about transferring and just kind of my experience as a Cornell transfer option. So just some background, I made a video when I first decided that I was transferring. I'll link that below. And then I made a video about why I was transferring, I believe, when I left U of I and my experience at U of I. So I can link both those videos down below. But now that I'm a junior at Cornell, I've been at Cornell for a year and a half now, I thought that I would kind of update on my experience, and if I decided, I guess, if I think I made the right decision and things like that. So I just have a list of questions. So some background, I originally went to the University of Illinois. I went there my freshman year knowing that I had the transfer option, which basically means Cornell delayed my acceptance for a year, so I got to go to the university of my choice for a year before transferring to Cornell. So with that, you have to kind of make sure that you tailor yourself to being a Cornell student while you're at your other university. So I had certain courses that I needed to take and certain grades that I needed to get at those other universities, or at my other university, in order to get the transfer option. A lot of people like to call it a guaranteed transfer option, but Cornell doesn't really like to call it that because it's not necessarily guaranteed. So I attended the University of Illinois my freshman year. I really enjoyed it. I made some great friends, but it just ended up not being the school for me. It's a larger school, so it was a little bit more difficult for me to get access to my professors and my advisors, which is a really big thing for me. And then just some of the opportunities that Cornell had in terms of med school and being a pre-med student were a little bit different than at U of I, so that was something that I was interested in. At the same time, I knew that I couldn't stay at U of I knowing that there was something else out there that I hadn't experienced, so that was a big thing for me in deciding whether to transfer. So I get a lot of questions about how I decided to transfer, and I kind of went into school initially knowing that I was going to transfer. I knew that I wanted to be at a school that was kind of farther away from home to push me away from my comfort zone. The only thing that was kind of keeping me at U of I were my friends, and I realized that for me, I live in the suburbs of Illinois, and a lot of my friends who go to U of I, are from the suburbs of Illinois. So it was kind of like I can still have those friends but also experience something new, so why not try something new? Yeah, so that's kind of how I made the decision to transfer. I just kind of knew it going in. I have a lot of people ask me if I let my friends know initially when I met them, or my advisors know when I first got to school. I didn't let my friends know as soon as I got to U of I that I was going to transfer because I wasn't sure yet. I think it's difficult to kind of make a deep and close friendship with someone when you know they're gonna leave. So I knew that, and I didn't make friends in a malevolent way. I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna be your friend and then I'm gonna leave you at this school. That wasn't how I made friends. I just kind of, you know, wasn't super forward about that. I mean, my roommate knew that I was considering it, and a couple of my close friends, but I didn't decide to tell everyone until I knew for sure that I was going to transfer, which was, I think, around April. So that's when I kind of let my advisors know and let my friends know that I was going to be transferring, when I had kind of formed relationships with them already, which sounds bad, but I'm still close with my friends from U of I. I still love my friends and my sorority and things like that. So for me, it wasn't a difficult decision because I knew it was something that I couldn't not do. So I guess my experience is a little bit different from other people who are really loving their first university as a transfer. So I wasn't totally in love with U of I. It just didn't fit me quite right, so it made the decision to transfer a little bit easier for me. Another question I get is my college and my major. So at U of I was in the College of ACES, and then I transferred into CALS at the Cornell University, which is the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. So pretty similar colleges. I did actually switch my major as I came into Cornell. So I came into the University of Illinois as an animal science major, And then when I came to Cornell, I applied to transfer into a biology major, which for me was pretty easy because they're still within the same college, so it was pretty much just filling out a form and making sure that I am taking the right courses to fill the major. So pretty easy process for me switching my major coming into Cornell. I know that it can be difficult if you want to switch your major outside of your college. Don't have a lot of information about that, but in terms of coursework for a biology major, it was difficult as a transfer. Cornell does ask for a lot as a transfer student coming in, so I did end up taking summer school courses before I came to Cornell. I took general chemistry, the second semester of general chemistry over the summer, and came to Cornell with that, which I had to let Cornell know that I was taking that over the summer. If anyone has any questions about biology as a major at Cornell or about transferring into Cornell as a biology major, I'm a student advisor at Cornell for biology, so I am pretty knowledgeable about questions about that. So if anyone has any comments or questions, definitely let me know. I can get into that more specifically. Oh, saying bye to my friends. Yeah, it was hard. I'm not gonna say it's easy. A lot of people ask me questions about saying goodbye to their friends at their first school and making new friends. I'm not gonna say it's easy. I made some of my best friends my freshman year at U of I. I still am very close with them. Like Liv and Kristen, who are in the vlogs a lot if anyone has been watching for a while. I'm still very close with them, and my twin and my big. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like your home friends. It's difficult to keep up with everyone, but you know that they're still going to be part of your life and they're still like close to you if they're like a really good friend. So yeah, it was difficult saying goodbye to my friends, but at the same time I was really excited to be coming to Cornell. So that kind of, I don't know, I guess I was so excited that I couldn't really, like I wasn't really sad because I knew they would still be a part of my life. So yeah, I get a lot of questions about it being hard, but yeah, it was hard, but I know that I'll see them, so it's okay. Oh, another question I get is about housing. So I got really lucky with housing. So I rushed a sorority my freshman year at the University of Illinois, not thinking about transferring at the time and not considering the impact that would have on my transfer experience, but I got really lucky because I rushed a sorority Delta Gamma at U of I, and then Cornell has Delta Gamma as well, so I was actually able to transfer my membership in the sorority to Cornell. So I was in a group me full of transfer options, and everyone was kind of discussing where they were going to be living and stuff like that. Cornell is kind of difficult with housing, to find housing. I know I've heard experiences of people who have ended up having to live pretty far from campus and things like that because Cornell doesn't have guaranteed housing. So I got lucky because someone in my group me had said that she was in Delta Gamma at her university and she was going to be living in the house when she came to Cornell, and I went on my phone and I DM'd her and I was like, how'd you do that? And then she gave me the number of the president of my sorority at Cornell, and she kind of set me up and sorted everything out. So I was actually one of 4 transfers into my sorority at Cornell my year. So that was kind of great because we kind of could lean on each other and not know anyone's names together. So that was kind of my housing situation, which leads me into what it was like transferring. So I definitely had a different experience than a lot of transfers because I moved into a sorority house full of like 50 girls that I had never met before and who didn't know me and who were already friends, which was supremely intimidating. I switched positions because the lighting is better over here. So I think I had to have everyone introduce themselves to me probably at least like 3 times minimum, which everyone was luckily very gracious about. But yeah, it was scary because everyone had already known each other for over a year, if not more. So it was kind of like, I'm coming into this school and I'm coming into this house and I don't know anyone in it, and they're all already friends. But luckily I was blessed with 2 really sweet roommates who were both FISAs, which is a freshman year spring admit, so they kind of had an idea of how I was feeling because they came in to Cornell the second semester not knowing anyone. Now we have a dog. But
I'm going to see.
Okay, bye.
I love you.
Serena and Addie, who were my roommates, were kind of a saving grace because they were really encouraging and helpful, and because it was kind of like I had to put myself in a bunch of uncomfortable situations in order to be comfortable, so I had to kind of really be outgoing and introducing myself and going places with people that I didn't know that well, and kind of trust that they would look after me and introduce me to people. It's a lot of following people around and asking people's names, but it works. I know I uploaded a video, which I will also link below, called The Transition Period, and I was kind of sad in that video because it was probably my first or second week at Cornell, and it's frustrating because you have this experience out of college, you know what college is like, you're an experienced college student, but it's like you're a freshman all over again because you don't know anybody, but also you have the disadvantage of everyone knows everyone already and they're already friends. It's intimidating and it sucks for a while, and then it doesn't suck anymore all of a sudden. And that's the best way I can describe it. I have made some of my very best friends at Cornell. I would not trade them for the world, and when I think about not being able to have them in my life and not having met them, it makes me really sad. Not that my friends at U of I wouldn't have been enough for me, but it's just that there's this whole part of my life that I wouldn't have known about, and I'm so grateful that I have that experience now, and I don't know what I would have done or would do without my friends. So that's really, really important to me to communicate, is that it's worth it, but you have to give it time, at least in my experience. Cornell sucked at first. I hated it because I didn't know anyone, and all of a sudden my classes were way harder and I didn't have any friends, and I was living in this house full of people I didn't know and wasn't comfortable around, and then like there's this switch that flips and you're okay, but it takes a while. So give yourself time to adjust. Someone said to me that transferring is kind of like a 4 credit hour course that you need to account for, because it's like you have to give yourself time to meet people and get out of your comfort zone and spend time at dinner talking to friends and people that you haven't met before. It takes time. So yes, my experience is different from other people's because I transferred into a sorority, but I have a lot of friends who are transfers who have kind of had similar experiences with, it's hard at first, but then you find your footing and it's okay all of a sudden. So I've had a couple questions about being in a sorority at Cornell. Yeah, it's possible and it's fun and I love it, but it's not for everybody, and I get that, but my experience has been really positive. Just like, I get a lot of questions about making friends. I obviously was a different case, but the thing about Cornell is there's a really vibrant transfer community. A lot of the transfers live on West Campus, so that makes it kind of like a collective unit, I guess. So it makes it a little bit easier to meet people, I think, and I think that transfers do tend to be more outgoing and friendly, and it makes it easier to meet people. I've made a couple friends who are transfers this year, just kind of out of the blue, and everyone I've met has been really kind and nice. Yeah, I think that transferring into a school where there were so many transfers and it wasn't like, oh, I'm a transfer and nobody else is a transfer and I feel weird, like I don't belong here. It's like a lot of the school had transferred there. So I mean, meeting people through class, not for me, because I'm a bio major. A lot of my classes are a little bit bigger, so it's kind of hard to meet people in a lecture hall when you move seats every day and it's like 300 people. But I know a lot of people make close friends in their college. Like my friend Maddie is also a transfer. She's an ILR. ILR is one of the colleges at Cornell, and it's basically like a high school because everybody pretty much knows everybody. And again, she's very outgoing, so I think that she kind of has an advantage in that way. But depending on what school that you transfer into, Cornell is, I mean, it's pretty easy to make friends within your major, I would say. I do have a couple friends that I've made just through my major, through discussion groups or anything like that. So yeah, another way to make friends, clubs, stuff like that, always an option. Sports, I know that people are really close to their sports teams, which sounds like an obvious thing, but making friends as a transfer is harder because people have known each other already for a year, but at the same time, there are so many avenues to do that and so many ways to do that that it makes it a little bit easier. You just kind of have to chip away at it. So in terms of academics, the academic transition is just as difficult as the making friends and social transition, if not more difficult. I mean, being pre-med anywhere is going to be hard, but transferring in to Cornell and immediately taking organic chemistry was pretty darn difficult. I'm not going to say that my grades are anywhere near as good as they were in my freshman year. at the University of Illinois, let alone during high school. But at the same time, you know, being a good student at whatever school you go to is tailored to that school, and I think that imposter syndrome is very possible as a transfer student at Cornell. Just remember that it's an Ivy League school and it's difficult. Grades aren't everything, which I know everyone says, but remember to ground yourself sometimes. It's gonna be probably more difficult than whatever school you went to your freshman year, unless you went to, I don't know. But yeah, it's hard. Academics are hard. That's why Cornell has a million resources like student advising and tutoring and the Learning Strategy Center, which I could go on about forever. There are so many opportunities and office hours and things you can go to help you use those opportunities. I should have used a million more than I have, but you know, you learn as you go. So definitely don't be shy about seeking help as soon as you get to Cornell, or as soon as you start to struggle, but before then is better. So the last question I get a lot, which I kind of touched on earlier, is was it worth it?
Shadow tilted head at me, spirits in the dark.
I'm transferring schools. I just found out yesterday that I was officially accepted to Cornell University.
I will let the wind go quietly. Shadow tilted head at me, spirits in the dark waiting. I will let the wind go quietly. I will let the wind go quietly.
It is difficult living in a house full of people that I don't know. You know, it's hard because I don't have like a set group of people that I know just yet, or that I can, like, close friends yet, which I know is going to come with time, but it's difficult.
I know, you'll make the fire, my bones will make it grow. Cause where we're from, there's no sun. Our hometown's in the dark. Where we're from, we're no one. Our hometown's in the dark. Our hometown's in the dark. Shadow tilted his head at me, spirits in the dark waiting. I will let the wind go quietly. I will let the wind go quietly. Shadow tilted his head at me, spirits in the dark waiting. I will let the wind go quietly. I will let the wind go quietly. 'Cause where we're from,
absolutely, 100%. It was totally worth it. If you would have asked me my first week or 2 weeks or probably month at Cornell, I would have said absolutely no. I am having a really hard time making friends, and it's scary and it's new, but now I think I mean, I'm living with some of my best friends, and I get to have this experience that I never would have known about had I not transferred. I mean, it's been worth it in so many ways that it makes the hard part seem so small. So, and that's not everyone's experience, and I'm not going to say it is, but for me, I am loving my experience at Cornell, and I am very, very happy that I transferred. To sum it up, give yourself credit as a transfer option. It's really hard, and no one is going to understand your individual experience, but there are people who are going through it and who are experiencing similar things that you can talk to. If you have any other questions, very happy to help you. Yeah, that's all I got.